Hey everybody, I'm Roy Petafis, and I want to answer the question that I often get asked: what do I do if I suspect that my teenager is smoking marijuana? Well, there's a few things. One is you should instantly have them drug tested, and you can get a drug test at the store. You can bring them to an institution that does professional drug testing, but you'll only know if you suspect. That means you don't know, you haven't found the evidence. And I can do a whole nother video on drug testing in and of itself, but I think it's something that parents should do early on, depending on where you fall on the value spectrum of smoking marijuana. Now, I know some of you are like, what do you mean, where do you fall on the value spectrum? There are some parents who, in my work with parents, they fall all over the spectrum, from it's the next worst thing from Satan, all the way to it's just like alcohol. What's the big deal? Let them smoke it. So depending on where your values fall along the spectrum, technically in most states, if not all states, if I'm not mistaken, it's illegal to smoke marijuana under the age of 18. So that's certainly a something to keep in mind with regard to allowing your teen to smoke it or not, as is drinking. And I'm fully aware that a lot of parents do allow their teens to drink. Again, it's going to come back to where do you fall on the value spectrum. So some parents, on the stricter end can go even a continuum there from, it's we're going to play like a good umpire and pretend that we don't see it. We're going to, make a good non-call like a referee. We know they're doing it, but as long as it doesn't come into our face, all the way to we are going to drug test you. We're going to bring you to see a counselor. You're going to go to treatment. And so again, how you respond when you find out or you suspect your teen is smoking marijuana is going to heavily depend on where your values around it are. If this is something you want to make sure that they don't do while they live in your house, then you're going to have consequences set up to make their life miserable if they smoke it. If not, then you're going to turn the blind eye. You're not going to drug test as frequently. But those are some options. Even within counseling, you have the options of seeing just a regular counselor. You can bring them to see a substance abuse counselor. You can go so far as to send your teen to quote-unquote treatment, which would be some sort of residential facility or outdoor adventure program facility where they are not exposed, not allowed to consume any substances, and where they do the therapeutic work in and around addiction and any underlying or associated issues. So those are just a few tips of things that you can do as a parent if you suspect your teen is smoking marijuana or utilizing any other substances that you don't approve of.